Hi everyone, it's Will, and I'm here ready to do another reading. I've got my deck here, I've been shuffling it. I'm going to continue shuffling. And today, we're going to ask the cards for a question. What question do we need answered? This can be for anyone who finds that the question resonates. All right, so here we go. We'll start with our question. The World card. The World. Okay, so maybe we've got something coming to completion, coming to fruition. Maybe we've got someone surrounded by a bunch of friends. Four of Swords. Restrictions. Now this is interesting because both of these cards appeared in the reading that I did earlier today. And they're back again, everyone. These cards are back again. I shuffled really well off camera. I did a riffle shuffle more than 7 times. I stopped counting after 7, but more than 7 times. So we've got, not the Fool, but we've got card 21, and we've got card 1 from the Major Arcana. And in between them, we've got 4 Swords. Restrictions happening here. So let's see, what is the question the cards have for us? The World is about finishing a cycle, coming together with lots of other people, sometimes about elevating a particular person. Here we can see, if we read left to right, which I tend to do, unless I have a good reason to do it otherwise, the figure in the center of the World card turns into this flower, this beautiful flower, but the wreath turns into the swords. It turns into like a thorny fence around this figure. And then we've got the Magician looking back at this flower and wondering, what can I do to change this? What action can I take? How can I use my cunning to get out of this situation? The other way to interpret this, the Magician can be very tricky, right? So the Magician may have manipulated or tricked someone into a situation where suddenly they're under a bunch of restrictions and they are stuck and trying to find their way out and having trouble doing that. So let's take that and formulate a question. So you thought that you were done with a project. You thought that you were finished. Maybe we've got conflict because we've got swords in the center of everything is swords. So you've had some kind of an argument or a conflict with someone, right? Maybe someone in a friend group, someone who you have some kind of relationship with. Could be anything. We'll get more details when we lay out the cards. You've had a conflict, and so you feel that you've had to isolate yourself from these other people because someone, one of your friends, has tricked you in some way, right? Maybe they lied, maybe they manipulated. Your friend or associate has manipulated you. So the question is, what can I do about my friend who's not telling the truth to me or who has manipulated me? What can I do about this relationship that is putting restrictions on me involving this very tricky person, the magician. So that will be our question. So I'll set these aside, and we will take the rest of the deck and we'll lay out cards. Knight of Swords showed up again. This is crazy, everyone, because this card was in the previous reading, and as I said, I really did shuffle very well. It was off camera, so I can only tell you that I've done it. Knight of Swords, Ace of Baton, and the Knight of Swords is coming up as the first card again. This is really interesting. I mean, I know it's a coincidence. Maybe it's a synchronicity, but Ace of Batons. So maybe this has to do with career. And the Hermit. All right, so I would read this as we've got a new project, could be a new career venture, or if not an actual new career, then a new project within an existing career. And this person, this querent, is very intellectual, reasonable, following what they believe in, and starting out just the very beginning steps of a new career move or a new project in their current career. And if it's not directly related to career, it could also have something to do with whatever lights a fire under you and like gets you out of bed in the morning. Something you're really excited about. So not necessarily a job, but like maybe it's a side hustle that you're hoping to turn into a career at some point in the future. This could be it. And it's new, right? It's got a lot of potential, but you haven't necessarily done anything with it yet. But you're searching for what you can do, or you have been searching for how you can move forward with this new project or career move. And we can see the Ace of Batons. The Hermit is using it here to find balance, right? To get their footing. And they've got their lantern to help them see as they're searching for what they can do next. So this, I think, is providing the context for the situation before the magician comes along and messes things up. All right, let's put these up here, and then we will draw some more cards. Five of Swords. More swords. So we've got something breaks through. We've got conflict. We've got maybe someone who feels like they have the right to take advantage of someone else. Ooh, but Temperance in the middle. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Maybe also trying to fix this situation. So Temperance, looking backward at the handle, really, of the central sword of the Five of Swords, tells me there is likely some regret. So this person, who was represented by the Magician, wants to fix the situation. Whatever they did to mess up your plans for this new project or career, maybe they gave you bad advice, maybe it wasn't necessarily malicious, like maybe they didn't outright lie to you, but maybe they said the wrong thing at the wrong time or gave you some bad information. I think they're regretting it, right? Because they can see that it's hurt you. Six of Coins. This is coming up again, and I think this was in the exact same position as the previous reading today. So there's a lot of these. This is fitting together a lot with the previous one. So, and it's not just the cards, it's in the positions too. So Six of Coins is about expanding your well-being. This is really good to see here in this particular spread, for this question about what you can do about your friend who's tricked you or given you bad information about a career project. And this is suggesting to me that moving forward, it's going to be okay, right? Harmony is coming, and it's going to be a practical kind of harmony. It's going to be a material harmony, and may even involve some money, right? So if we're looking about a new project or a new career with some potential that you're searching for, we can expect underneath that to find an expansion of harmony and some material, a material outcome or growth there, despite whatever this associate or friend has done to mess things up for you. Okay, we've got another coins card, and here it's the 3, and it's in the lower left corner. So at some point we're getting from 3 to 6, right? 3 of coins is about working together with others, right? And it can also be about a small amount of money that I think is growing, right? From 3 to 6, doubling, in fact. So maybe what's happened is that the restrictions that this person has placed on you seem like they're going to fence you in. Like, instead of getting the world, you feel fenced in. But there's a breakthrough, right? And it's fixable and actually turns out to be an advantage. Oh boy, a King of Swords. We've got another court card. So the Knight and the King. So I think that this has got to represent our magician, right? The person who is giving advice. So underneath this new potential project or career path, someone's given some advice, communicated something, and it's caused some trouble, but maybe also a breakthrough. It's upset things, disturbed things, changed things, and there's some fixing that needs to be done, some healing that needs to be done about it. And this is the person, I think, who's responsible for that, right? The King of Swords. So both of these people, the person who I'd call the querent, you, whoever you might be, are both coming from a swords, the suit of swords. So they're calm, rational. They, on a good day, defer to one another. And so I think what's probably happened here is that you have deferred to the king, the person who seems to be more knowledgeable and steady and more established, right? But then you feel like, ooh, you made a mistake, because the advice, the communication given to you by the king has really disturbed stuff. Okay, and the 8 again. And if I'm remembering correctly, this card was here. No, it was batons. Never mind. All right. So our 5 of Swords becomes an 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords is about getting stuck or feeling defensive. The sword is gone. It turns into a small flower, but it's surrounded by more swords from before. This card is about feeling like you don't know how to move forward, feeling stuck, feeling like you've got to have your guard up, your defenses up at all times. So let's answer the question. What can you do about the situation you're in where an associate or friend of yours has communicated to you some advice that has put up a bunch of restrictions around you? So you thought that you were going to get everything you'd hoped for, but it turns out that you're isolated from others and you're having trouble growing because this person has given you some advice that just isn't right. Well, at the center of everything, this person knows that they've given you some bad advice, right? That has disturbed things for you in your search for this new career or avenue or project, right? But in the end, it's going to pay off, right? The investment that you've made is going to be larger than what it was before, whether we're talking about money or time or energy or results, right? They do improve. You've got more than you had before, but it might sort of be because of chance. It might be because this person, represented by both the Magician in the question and the King of Swords, was able to fix things. But at the end of the day, you still feel defensive about this person. You need to be wary of this person because will they be able to fix it again next time or not, right? So the answer to the question is everything's going to be okay for the current situation, but you should remember this, don't forget it. And I'm not sure that your associate had any ill will, right? We don't see, for example, the devil in this spread or anything, but maybe they were a little trickier or manipulative than they should have been. That's how I'd read this guy. And so you need to watch out for that going forward, right? Like, don't necessarily end the relationship, but take everything this person says with a grain of salt going forward. Okay, well, I hope this was entertaining. I hope it maybe gave you a different perspective on something that you're experiencing at the moment. Obviously, it's not professional advice. It's for entertainment only. It's not legally binding. You should make all of your own good, sound decisions. And I hope it was fun. And I'll end it there. Thanks so much, everyone.